Hey, you guys, I have a question. Several years back, I actually was engaged, whether you know it or not. And I decided not to go through with it, even though I really wanted to be married, even the idea of it, and I still do. Now, it was a reason that I did not do it. So yesterday I had a discussion with someone, and they told me that my reasoning was wrong. Now, do I believe that my reasoning was okay? Yeah, but I want to see what is going on in this world and how are the women thinking and how are the men thinking. I had one stipulation for marriage because I had built my business. I had a multi-million-dollar countersuit that was on the table and all this other stuff. I mean, I had worked so hard for all these years, and I'd only known the person a couple of years. And my attorney told me, don't do it. And I was like, literally, I was begging. I needed this person to do something, and they refused to do it. I needed them to sign a prenup. And the prenup was based on one stipulation: no infidelity. It wasn't anything else. There was no infidelity. So the stipulation was, if you cheat, you leave with what you came with. Hey, we're going to keep all your stuff. If it was a car you came with, if it's your clothes, we're going to keep that. I don't care how long it takes. We're going to keep it. So if you cheat, you leave with everything you came with. And you get nothing of mine. Nothing at all. But if I cheat, you would get 50% of everything. Okay? Only stipulation. Which I thought was fair. So it was a nonstop battle. I'm not signing. Now, mind you, I wouldn't mind signing the prenup. If somebody has worked for something very hard and they've established something in their name and they may have children, they may have legacy or something of that nature, they need to secure their stuff. And then what we build in the marriage, it's ours. Then what we'll do is we'll split it off or what have you. That will be another stipulation within like community property and all that other stuff like that. Laws will take care of that. But as far as when two people come into a relationship with something and either person has something already or one has more than the other, I think that should be secured. And if the person decides towards the very end, they want to tear the prenup up, I'm just in love with boo and I'm going to tear this prenup up and what have you, that's a different story. But in the meantime, I believe marriage, even though I believe we put a lot of emotion into it, I believe it's when two people come together and they have something, some synergy, they have something in agreement. They come together, they get married. Well, my attorney told me, do not marry him. Told me do not marry him. I was like, okay, fine, I understand. But why? She said, I don't care how much you love him. I was like, well, it ain't like that. She said, that's even worse. But she said, don't do it. You've built this. And overnight, you would lose everything. So what does he have? I said, well, I carry most. She said, that's it. Don't you dare. Do not marry this man. If you do, the prenup must be in place. So I was like, but I want to go ahead and get married. She was like, don't do it. I'm advising against it. I was like, okay, fine. One thing led to another, and eventually it had to come down to as to where I don't need to fight with somebody, because if somebody loved you, they would be willing to protect your assets and things like that. And then they'll understand it. And then they'll have the mentality that, we'll just build when we get married. And what we build when we get married, we'll make that so solid that whatever you came into the marriage with, that ain't even going to make a difference. You do whatever you want to do. That's for you and your son. Because it was my son. This is my legacy that I'm passing along. So I eventually let go. So the discussion, because I don't argue at all, I refuse to do it. The discussion was having is, well, Rhonda, that was a form of control. I was like, what? Well, yeah, it's a form of control. If he didn't want to sign it, he was going to be your husband, and you should have went ahead. I'm like, see, we're about to end this discussion right now. What you believe is best is not necessarily what I believe is best. And I'm just trying to figure this out, for eventually, because I do desire to marry. Is that, and I'm rebuilding everything all over again. I'm starting from scratch, rebuilding everything all over, and it's moving kind of fast. What is it? Was my prenup too wrong? Was it wrong? That I expect, listen, if you're going to get out there and handle your business, get that other person to pay for it. Was I wrong? Should I just went ahead and said, you know what, let's get married and we're going to let God settle this? Or what do you think? Was I wrong? And am I still wrong? Because I do believe that when people marry, depending on what they have and what they build, they should be able to secure their assets. I'm just a 55-year-old woman, just talking, who's worked my butt off and have had to rebuild a few times. And it would be terrible. At least at times when I had to rebuild, it was because things happened with the economy or I kind of got off or whatever. But the worst thing I felt would have been is to somebody that I'm pillow talking with, someone that I'm supposed to call my husband, takes everything from me because they never loved me, but because I had something to give. That by right, I should have been, they never should have had to sign it. So I'm just putting it out there. What do you think? I mean, my next time, I still believe that a prenup should be in place, but it should be in place based on, if we build together, then that's a different story. But whatever each person comes into the relationship with, of course, when you get into that marriage, you guys are going to take and work together. I believe that I heard from my neighbor at one point that a man should at least be able to pay for where you live at, provide, a home for you, and everything else is up for, extras. So I do believe that, that if a man is going to take you out of your house, he at least should be able to pay for where you live at, and based in reason. Now, if you're just out there and doing all kind of stuff willy-nilly, then, come on, use reason. But other than that, am I just wrong? Am I too independent? Or is this not heard of? Or is it, by me being a Black woman, is it not heard of? By me being older, is this the only reason? Is this an old type thing? You guys, come on, chime in. Let me know. School a sister. Let me know if I was right or wrong. Or let me know if I'm heading in the right direction.